Officer Buckle and Gloria. Okay, so we're going to review the story elements right now, and we're going to do it together. And I'm going to show you my example. Then you're going to have a chance to do it with a story of your own, and you're going to fill in the same worksheet in your Google Slides. Elements of a story. Your name on your paper is always so important so that we know whose work is whose. Plot. So the plot is the points of the story. What is happening in this story? So when we're going to review story elements for this week, we're going to focus on the beginning of the story, the middle of the story, and the ending of the story. And I'm just going to write it in a complete sentence right here on the lines given. So what happens in the story? As a fifth grader, our expectation is that you are able to write your answer in a complete sentence. So in order to do that, we need to repeat the question and then begin our sentence. This story has many interesting parts. In the beginning of the story, Officer Buckle gives his safety speeches without Gloria, and no one listens. Period. In the middle of the story, Officer Buckle brings Gloria, and they get a lot of attention. At the end of the story, the lesson is learned that Officer Buckle and Gloria make a good team. Those were the main parts, the beginning, the middle, and the ending. We do have a problem and solution that goes in the plot, but we're going to put that down at the bottom. So this was the main parts in the beginning, the middle, and the ending of the story. Another part of an element of a story are the characters. Who are the main characters in this story? I'm going to say the main characters in this story are Officer Buckle and his dog Gloria. They go to schools and give safety speeches. Or you could say in there that Officer Buckle is a police officer who gives safety speeches. with his police dog, Gloria. Okay. The title of our story is Officer Buckle and Gloria. The author of our story is Peggy Rathman. Okay. The setting of the story is where the story takes place, and it usually is very important to the elements of the story, to the plot of the story. Things wouldn't be happening in the story if it didn't take place at a certain place. So if Officer Buckle and his dog Gloria give safety speeches at schools, the main setting of this story was the auditorium in different schools. The reason that's important is because they were both standing on a stage, and Gloria was behind Officer Buckle doing all these funny actions, and that wouldn't have happened if they weren't on a stage in front of an audience. Okay, now we're down to our last two sections of our paper, problem and solution. So Officer Buckle and Gloria were a big hit to schools, but there was one thing that was happening that Officer Buckle didn't know about. And that was the first part. He felt, in the beginning of the book, he felt very boring. No one was listening to him. He didn't know what to do. In the middle of the story, Gloria is trying to make the kids laugh and applaud for Officer Buckle, so she's acting out all these silly things as a dog behind him. And in the little bit past the middle, he finds out and his feelings are hurt because he realizes that people weren't really applauding for him, they were applauding for his dog. But in the end, he finds out that really together is the best team. Him and Gloria together make a team. Okay guys, sorry, my video was getting a little long, so I had to stop it and come back. So I went ahead and finished the page, and I'm going to go over it now. Okay, so we were talking about the problem in the story. So the problem was that both Officer Buckle and Gloria realized that they weren't good alone. Okay, and because of that, Officer Buckle feels very unappreciated. And when we feel unappreciated, it makes us not want to go do things. So then they realized that together they're more effective than when they each went alone. So then in the ending part of the book, they go back together and they give their safety speeches again, and they are very, very happy to be back in schools, and the schools are happy to have both characters back together. So now you're going to do this with a book, and you're going to fill it in the same way. So what Mrs. Tart and I are looking for are complete sentences and every part of your page filled in.